on a sunny and freezing cold Thursday afternoon. Welcome on into the Animal House. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Dustin Fox. And we're brought to you now by Bet Rivers. If you're not using the Bet Rivers app, what the hell are you doing? Make sure you use it today where you can find the Browns getting 4 points at home to the Chiefs. Dustin, how are you?
Adam, I am doing very well. That was a nice introduction. Why haven't you done that before, by the way?
I don't know. I've
Just
done it.
Feeling it today?
I've done it on the weekend a little bit, like a version of it after like some emotional Browns games or something. But I don't know. I wanted to get the vibe going with that. So here we are. Cool. A lot to get to today. How did you describe your outfit earlier today?
Cabin leisure. Cabin
leisure.
Yeah, because it's like it's this new brand I wear, Viore, and it's like kind of like Lululemon. It's like athletic apparel or attire or whatever. But so like this is like a nice flannel, but it's not flannel. It's like a really stretchy,
all right,
athletic fit.
Yeah.
So cabin leisure.
You know what's fascinating to me is that when I was a kid, I would have loved to wear sweatpants every day to school, but like you didn't do that back then. Everybody wore jeans, and now apparently kids don't wear jeans. Like boys don't wear jeans anymore. Did you know that?
No, my son doesn't own a pair of jeans.
Yeah, we have to force him every once in a while, like if we're going somewhere a little nicer or whatever. But I actually don't think
my son's got slacks like khakis or whatever to wear.
He probably hates wearing those
dinner. Too. Yeah, he doesn't enjoy wearing them. Like this past Sunday, we had a Christmas brunch thing, and he had to at the country club, and he had to wear khaki slacks, and doesn't love it, but to school. Does Aaron wear sweats to school?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, my son wears sweats all the time.
Yeah, and all the boys do it. And then the older boy, a little older than our kids, but like the kids in high school, they all have a bird's nest on their head. Every single kid, it seems like.
What is with the bird's nest?
I have no idea what these kids are doing these days.
I guess I can't really.
Bird's nest.
It's crazy. I guess I can't really be that critical because I've got a mullet, and those are like kind of back in style, and like a lot of people have those now.
Yeah.
So I sort of follow the fads to some degree, but I just don't understand how this mushroom top thing became a thing.
I don't get it, but it's one of life's mysteries.
Every kid has it in this country. Yeah. If you are like somewhere between, I don't know, like 10, 11 and 18, you probably have it.
Especially the high schools. Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get to some Browns talk here. The season, not like we're unused to. I mean, we've been covering this team since 2011. Unfortunately, we've spent way more Decembers talking about what do you have to play for, draft picks, coaches being potentially fired, GMs being potentially fired, who's the quarterback. We've had way more of those December discussions than we have had, hey, the Browns are going to the playoffs, or could make the playoffs. There's been very few of those conversations, and once again, we are back to it. And so I'll put it to you first. What, as a player, keeps you motivated beyond the obvious of like, okay, if you're a guy on the back end of the roster, you're fighting for a job, I get it. But if you're Myles Garrett, if you're Nick Chubb, if you're Denzel Ward, guys who have established themselves, they've made a lot of money, they're set. Like, how do you motivate yourself late in the season in this situation?
Well, I guess number one, you hope you have the right guys in the locker room. And what I mean by right guys, I mean those guys you talked about, like the Nick Chubbs, the Myles Garretts, the Denzel Wards, your best players. You hope that your best players are the hardest workers and the guys that continue to push and grind and, basically exude professionalism, because we are professionals. When you play this game, it's different than college. It's different than high school. You are pros. And when they say you're a professional, like you have to be a professional in every facet of the game. Like you got to go to practice, you got to show up, you got to give effort. And I play with a lot of guys, Adam, that packed it in, late in the year, you're out of the playoffs and those guys.
Oh yeah.
We were never going to be a playoff team because those guys were on the team, frankly.
Right. Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case with some of the prominent players with the Browns. We'll find out as we watch these final games here to figure out how they finish up. But overall, you hope you've got the right guys that respect the game enough to give it the right amount of effort. And that's what we're all human. We get it. You're probably not playing. Well, not probably. They're out. You're not playing for a playoff spot, but it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. You're getting paid a ton of money to go out there and perform. And whether you're performing for yourself, your teammates, your family, whatever, like you every snap have to give it that effort. And it'll be noticeable.
Yeah.
It will be.
Well, we don't have to worry about Nick Chubb. We know he's giving
We do
full
not.
effort every time he's on the field. About the other guys, who the hell knows? But with that guy, there's never any doubts. You see the spread there on this game. Chiefs are a 4-point favorite. These are two of the worst teams in the league in terms of record versus the spread. Obviously, the Chiefs are a great team overall. The Browns are a bad team. They're Browns 4-9 against the spread this year. Only Tennessee at 2-11 is worse. The Chiefs are 5-8 against the spread, which is not really a surprise because they've, especially earlier in the season, were favored by a lot, and every game they play seems to be close. 4 is always
I mean, you're 12
yeah.
you're 12-1 overall and 5-8 against the spread.
Yeah, right. That's got to be pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Want to take a guess as to which team is the best team against the spread? It's a tie.
In the league?
Yeah, it's a tie. There's two teams that are 10-3 against the spread.
I'd say the Lions.
The Lions it's a good guess. They're tied for third. They're 9-4 against the spread.
Against the spread. I should know this. I bet on the
I think if you think about it a little while, you'll get it. I'll give you one clue. You want to give me a clue or no?
Is it in our division?
One of the two teams is, yes.
Baltimore.
No.
Steelers,
yeah, because they're that's not surprising me because they're
10-3 and every spread's probably been tight, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're 10. The other team is the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, if your spread's around 3 points most games and you're 10-3, there's a good chance you're covering the spread.
Plus, I think especially to some degree the Steelers and definitely with the Broncos, they've been surprisingly good. So if you're surprisingly good, there were probably there were games early in the season where the Steelers were underdog. And same thing with the Broncos, and both teams. I mean, obviously, the Steelers have been better than the Broncos, but in terms of how much better they are than their expectations, the Broncos have been way better than their expectations. I didn't have them as a playoff team. They haven't locked it up yet, but did you think they'd be anywhere close to as good as they've been?
Did I think that'd be? I don't know. I no. I'd say no. No, I don't think that I thought they'd be this good. There's no way. Not with the quarterback situation.
No. And Bo Nix has been great. I mean,
he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he and Jane Daniels have both been sensational. I think this quarterback class overall looks pretty good. I know Caleb Williams was in a tricky spot, but I think he's going to be all right. Drake Mays looked decent. He's got no talent around him whatsoever.
None.
So not bad. But anyway, which way you leaning? Chiefs -4 over the Browns. 43.5 over under. Which way you leaning?
Well, gun to my head, you take the Chiefs. I mean, no sane person would take the Browns plus the points other than the only reason you would take the points is because you would go, man, sure seems easy to take the Chiefs.
Right.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Everything would tell you to take the Chiefs.
I was when the spread first came out this week, I always try to guess in my head what the Browns spread is going to be, and I'm usually pretty close. You're usually pretty close. Like, and maybe I'm crazy because the Chiefs haven't won comfortably very often, but I thought the Chiefs would be like a touchdown favorite. So the fact that it's only 4, I was like, wow,
it makes you question it a little bit because I'm kind of with you. I sort of thought that this game would be like a 7.5 point number.
Yeah. Right, and at 7.5, certainly you could start thinking about the Browns at 7.5.
Yeah.
To me, at 4, it's either you stay away or you take the Chiefs.
I would take the Chiefs.
Yeah, but Browns' last win versus Kansas City, December 9th, 2012. They've lost 5 since. Does that include? I don't know if that includes the playoff game, obviously, which was a great game. Mahomes got hurt in that game, but anyway, it does include the playoff game. Okay, so last 5, including the playoff game, and they won't play. No, they won't play the Chiefs next year because the Browns are the only good thing for next year is at this point the Browns are they're not locked into last place at this point, but they're pretty close. They're 2 games behind the Bengals, and at this point the Bengals would have the tiebreaker. So It's likely they're going to finish fourth, which means I don't know the team they play in the AFC next year. I can't remember, but it's not the West because they played the West this year. So it's got to be either the East or the South, and then you got you'll play the last place team in the East, which is the Patriots. I don't know. I'll have to look it over, but anyway. Earlier today, on UCSS, we talked a little bit about the Jimmy Haslam comments in the Jeremy Fowler article, and I thought your thoughts were interesting about, Jimmy is somebody, he changes his mind constantly. So even if he truly, like, I'm not even saying that he's lying, that at this moment in time he's not thinking about firing Stefanski and Berry. That may very well be true. It certainly does not mean that they're definitely going to have their jobs next year.
No, far from it. And they've said this many times before about, and I say he has said this many times about people's job security and what they, believe about a coach late in the year, December, right? We always laugh because December in Berea means people are getting fired. This year it would be January in February, January in Berea, excuse me. But no, I don't read anything into what Jimmy Haslam had to say, because what else is he going to say this time of year other than, we're surprised that we're 3-10. Well, we know why you're 3-10. Okay. We know that you don't have a quarterback. We know that was a mistake. His response about the quarterback situation, I'm not reading into that either, because we all know that Deshaun Watson's never taken another snap for the Browns again.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, there's no chance.
Can you imagine the fan reaction if they tried to make him the starter again next year?
You can't. There's no way. There's no way. Dude, they would ruin another year. And when Jimmy talks about how he doesn't think they have to tear it down completely right now because they think they have some pieces here, and they do have some pieces. If they decide to try and make Watson the quarterback next year, they will have to tear it down after next season.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and they may have to, eventually tear it down anyway. He's right about the pieces. The problem is a lot of their good pieces are older. Right? I mean, you think about it. Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller.
Conklin,
Denzel Ward. Denzel's not that old. How old is he? I can't even think how old he is.
I don't know. Even Njoku's getting up there.
Yeah. I mean, all right, Jerry Judy's fairly young. You just signed him. And right now that deal's looking good. Obviously, JOK is young, but he's dealing.
He may never play. We don't know what's going on there.
I know. It's awful. Denzel's going to turn 28 in April. So he's not old, but, these guys are getting up there.
But he's never healthy.
Right. Exactly. So
he's a frail guy who takes a lot of beating on his body, and his brain, frankly, is the most concerning part about it.
No doubt. 6 known concussions in the NFL.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You look at the Browns, and we talked about this a little bit on the show. You and I made the point of talking about how the Browns, just can't keep adding players in free agency. It's got to be through the draft. And for a number of years, right, you look at the 2017 draft, Myles Garrett, David Njoku, both got, a second contract with the Browns. 2018, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb got second contracts. But since then, if you look at it, okay, 2019, this wasn't this regime, but nobody there got a second contract. 2020 was this regime. Grant Delpit got a second contract. That's it. 2021, nobody got a second contract. Well, I'm assuming Greg Newsom's not going to get a second contract. And who else do you have? 2022, I think I like Alex Wright's potential, but he's been hurt so much. Jerome Ford, none of these guys. Martin Emerson, is Martin Emerson? Do you look at him as a definite second contract guy?
Man, not if you talk to Tyvis Powell.
Yeah, he's way down on him. Jason loved him, but he is soured on him.
I think we all loved him when he was a rookie and he was making plays, And when you've got Greg Newsome and Denzel's been banged up. So like when Emerson came in and had all those great plays a season ago, we're like, oh, this guy could be a star. And then all of a sudden, maybe you were a third round pick for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. 100% true.
And
I'll tell you what, if you go through, and I understand that they traded 3 first-round picks to get Watson, which has been a disaster. But if you go through 5 years, Andrew Berry in 5 years, his best draft pick to this point is Grant Delpit, who's a nice player.
Nice player.
Yeah, but that's it. Is anybody else getting a second contract? I mean, this year's draft doesn't look promising yet. We'll see. I don't think
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bull. The fact that we have to kind of like rack our brains to think about who did they draft means they're not standing out.
No,
is the point.
I think Cedric Tillman showed some progress before this concussion, and maybe he ends up being. But I think he's probably a wide receiver 2-3 type of guy. Nice. He looks like a nice player, but I don't know what the ceiling is. And it's just there's too many guys like that. Like everybody they've drafted in the last 5 years has been either, okay or below pretty much, except for Delpit. You look at Jed Wills, that's a disaster. He's not getting a second contract. So you can't, and that's why most of their good players are older, because you haven't drafted well. And Andrew Berry's made some good trades. Obviously the Jerry Jeudy trade was good. The Amari Cooper trade was good. But you have to be able to draft and develop. For all the talk about, and the Rams traded for Stafford, and they signed a couple of key free agents the year they won the Super Bowl. But a lot of their key players before that were players for the roster. And why are they still decent? Well, because they hit on Kyren Williams with a late pick. They hit on Puka Nacua with a late pick. If they don't have those two guys, forget about it. They're not, those are probably their 2 best players on offense now. I think at this point, Nacua is better than Cooper Kupp. So you got to be hitting on draft picks, and the Browns have just not done that.
You think Puka's better than Kupp?
At this point, you don't think so?
Cooper's been injured, so I don't know where he's at with
Puka
at full strength.
Yeah.
But no, listen, Puka is it's hard to explain his game because he is such a I think Puka Nacua, the best way to describe him is he's just a football player. He's just really good at playing football. And I think you could play that guy at safety. You could have him run down on kickoff. Just anywhere on the field. He's like a Nate Ebner, man. He could probably do it all. That kid Nacua could be great in rugby, I bet.
Yeah, he'd probably be good at any sport, right?
I mean, that you remember last week when Nacua had the jet sweep, and it was a great play design, but he ran this little motion, and he comes back, and you're like, he's not going to get the ball. And then he gets it, and he just runs in the end zone like a running back. He just, I don't know. It's hard to get on a tangent. I'm just a big fan.
No, he's awesome. And what an eye that Sean McVay and that organization have.
Because they look at guys that fit what they're trying to do as opposed to draft guys based on their spark score.
Well, think about this. He took his first year in L.A., took Cooper Kupp in the 3rd round. And then he takes Nacua in the
5th from the BYU.
And what round was Kyren Williams? He was a late round pick too. He's a really good back.
I think he was 6th round pick. I think.
Let's see. He is 5th round also.
Okay.
But still. You got Nacua.
There's not much difference between a 5th and a 6th round pick.
With 5th round picks. The Browns' 5th round picks, for the most part, go in the trash. It's so weird to me. We've talked in the past about using Mel Kiper's draft guide or our buddy Dane Brugler's draft guide, whatever.
Yeah. And
we could do as well as the Browns. It is amazing. How does a player, obviously the biggest story is Tom Brady, but beyond that, how does Nacua, how does Kyren Williams, and I know these are, not the rule, but the exception, even Brock Purdy. How does so many teams not see it?
You know what you and I should do?
Yeah.
We should start this every year. We'll just you pick a team, I pick a team.
Yeah.
In fact, we could just do the first pick and the second pick.
Yeah.
Whoever those teams are, and you have that team, I've got a team. We'll do a coin flip and see who gets the first pick, who gets the second pick.
Okay.
And we'll just draft.
And we'll see.
And just on a piece of paper, we'll keep it. We'll put it in my drawer in my office. And every year we'll just go back and see how well we did compared to that actual team.
I wish we would have done that since 2011. We'd have a long track record of stuff here, but no.
Dude, God bless it. We could have. That's an easy thing to do.
I know.
Anyhow, Just thought about that.
Let's get to some comments from the fans. Bailey's asking if there's an extra special Dustin hookup today.
What do you need?
What do you need, Bailey? Put it.
I got a guy.
Yeah.
I got a guy for that.
Great Malenko says, how long ago was that picture? For me, I've told this. You know where that picture is from?
Which one?
Can you put that up, guys? The picture that's like my podcast picture. Can you put it up so Dustin can see it or no?
Oh, the one with you in the black shirt?
Yeah, that's like right before we start the show. Oh, okay. Can't put it up.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
That picture, you and I went to the Brown Stadium together to take the picture. It was a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Katie Cole took the pictures.
Yeah. I wonder how she's doing. I haven't spoken to her forever.
I haven't spoken to her either. I've seen some social media. Hope she's doing well.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I think I ran into her at a Guardians game like right before COVID. I think was the last time I saw her. But anyway, yeah, that picture's old, but I like it. It looks good. I was at my finish.
That picture was 20. I think it was 2014 or 15.
That late?
One of the two.
Oh, I was thinking earlier than that, but all right.
No, because I remember I wore a Cavs jersey to take some other pictures that day too. So I remember it was before the Cavs championship, but it was after a couple of years of Kyrie.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense because I lost a lot of weight right before Aaron was born, and then
your beard was all black, dude.
Yeah, not anymore.
Did you dye that beard, or was that just real?
No, it was real. Man. I mean, it was 10 years ago. I was in my early 40s,
Yeah,
not early 50s. You know?
Yeah, but it's funny, man. People with their beards and with gray hair, a lot of times you start getting that late 30s, early 40s.
No, I didn't really get the gray until the last 5 years. Yeah, you got some gray. A little bit.
Well, you know what? Just for men, M45.
Oh, there you go. No, I didn't dye it.
Dark brown.
Let's see. Christopher Shaw, Bull and Fox. Do you all think the coaches get blame that they shouldn't be getting? I feel like the players don't get enough blame for playing shitty. What do you say to that one?
I think it's a fair observation. I don't think that the coaches here are unscathed. I think we definitely talk about them quite a bit. But yeah, I think you brought up a great point today, Adam, about Stefanski and how we all just assume he's a really good coach, great coach, whatever you want to say about the guy, a solid football coach. Yeah. And we all go to the same thing, that the guy was the coach of the year twice. Yeah. And yet he's got a 500 record as a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exact. In fact, yeah, he was under 500.
Is there anything great? Is there anything great about being 8-8?
No. No, it's Jeff Fisher. He's Jeff Fisher.
That's what I'm saying. That's that 8-8 bullshit.
Yeah. It's true. And then I don't pick on Jeremy Fowler because we all do it. He came on.
I know. I love Jeremy. He's really good.
He's awesome. But he said the same thing. That's what everybody says.
Dude, when he said that, I almost looked at you and just laughed because we had just had a conversation about it.
Yeah, that was funny. Let's see. Pravada #1 says, saw Dustin's picks on YouTube from Ohio State the other week. Bro was dope as fuck. You were dope as fuck, man.
What picks? My picks? Oh, my interceptions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I thought I was thinking. I'm like, what photograph?
Oh no.
But yeah, thank you.
He's talking about when you played at Ohio State.
I'll take dope as fuck. I'll take it.
That's when the program knew how to beat their rival.
Yeah, because we played on grass, Adam. We played on grass.
Players have gotten soft. Nah, I'm kidding.
Man.
But they, you saw the. Do you buy? Okay, so in the same vein as Jimmy Haslam, Ohio State's athletic director today said that Ryan Day, couldn't think of his name for a second, his job is not in jeopardy. Do you buy that?
So that's different. I think it's different than an owner.
Okay, yeah,
because the AD doesn't own the program. I mean, he makes the decision. He's a big part of it, but I mean, the reality is of college football. The people that make the decisions are the people that have the money.
Yeah.
Behind
the money people say, we want Ryan Day out or you're not getting our money, he's gone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't certainly have anything to back this up other than an opinion, but I'm guessing if the AD is coming out today and saying that Ryan Day is safe, then he's probably had conversations behind the scenes. In those conversations we're like, yeah, we can't afford to let him go.
Wow. Oh, so you think the money people want him there?
No, everyone I've talked to says that would be too expensive for Ohio State to be able to get out of.
It's Ohio State. I don't understand.
That's what I think.
I mean, they spend more on NIL money than any team in the sport.
Look, I don't live in Columbus, so I'm not,
Yeah.
you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
Your boots aren't on the ground every day. I'm
Sure.
not listening and talking to everybody in Columbus. Tyvus is, and Tyvus gives us
Yeah.
good stuff. I talk to other people. I'm not saying Tyvus is giving me all this information, but in saying that, everyone that I've talked to that lives in Columbus that covers this team feels like the finances are a big reason why he stays or why he goes, depending on if they can afford it or not. And I hate calling for people's jobs, but these guys are making so much money. It's just, and it's a public figure. Your
Right.
job is different than, you know, the steel worker, right? It's just a different deal. And your job is reliant upon your success on the field. It's a results business. And when you're not getting the results that you need to have, especially in, you know, it's like the biggest test of the year and you keep failing it. Well, I don't know. Maybe we need someone else to take that test.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not the NFL. Like in the NFL, if you go 10-2 every year, 11-2 every year, you're never getting fired. In college, you know, for Ohio State, you feel like with almost any coach, they could beat most of the teams. I know he's dominated the Big Ten besides Michigan. I completely dominated, but that's not good enough. In the Michigan games and in playoff games, he's got a terrible record, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and look, they've got a chance here. I do believe. You know, they've got to face Tennessee. I think they're going to beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
And by the way, so behind me, you can see. Can you see the Tennessee helmet?
Oh yeah, I do. Why?
Well, because you can't see the Ohio State. I have them matched up, but it's not in the screen. So there we go. There, I'm gonna put now. You got a Buckeye and a yeah.
People might have thought you were a turncoat.
I didn't want to I don't want people to think that I'm a Tennessee fan, but now you can see both Ohio State and Tennessee. There you go.
And by the way, for those who don't know, and I'm sure anybody listening to this probably does, but behind Dustin's left shoulder, of course, is his favorite movie character of all time, the great Michael Myers.
No, Jack Nicholson.
Well, Jack Nicholson, yes, we've talked about that, but I see the little Michael Myers. I assume it's a bobblehead there right behind you.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's creepy as ever. Are they making another one? I think they might be.
Oh, who knows, man? The last few have been pretty terrible, but
even though they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back for one of them, didn't they?
Yeah, the last one was better.
Yeah,
but boy, there were a few really bad ones in there mixed in, and Rob Zombie came in and kind of got weird with it. I like Rob Zombie typically; he's a little out there, but I didn't love his rendition of Halloween.
Fair enough. Couple more from the chat, and then we'll wrap things up. Salvatore Barbata says pick two. Oh, this is a fantasy question. You'll be excited about this one. Kyler, Darnold, and Richardson. I'll take Kyler and Darnold. I'll tell you, though, what a season Sam Darnold is having. It's really unbelievable.
I mean, it is and it isn't. You know, the reason it's unbelievable is because the guy has not had success in the NFL.
Yeah.
But when you remember that the talent that this guy has, like, that doesn't go away. I mean, maybe some confidence did, maybe some coaching, maybe some, skill players around you change. But the guy didn't all of a sudden become a bad quarterback. You're a quarterback at USC, you're a top 5 pick in the draft. Like, you're a good player.
But we've seen other guys like that never do anything, you know?
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
To me, what's surprising is like you don't see it that often where a guy who's been that high of a pick and has had not one, but not two, but like his third opportunity to do something does it. You know, Geno Smith's another one right now, but he was a second round pick. He wasn't a top 5 pick.
A lot of people have thrown Jared Goff and Baker into that group. I don't buy that because Jared Goff and Baker had success on some level in their first stops. You know, yes. Like Baker wasn't nobody. Listen, yes, Baker, his last year here was terrible, and his first year away from here, except for a couple games at the end of the year with the Rams, was terrible. And so, yeah, it was starting to get ugly, but he had success here. He had gone to the playoffs. Certainly, Jared Goff had some success and then took a downturn. So those turnarounds are more those guys had been down for a year or two. But these guys had never done anything for a number of years. Obviously, Geno even longer.
You wonder if that will, like, in the future, give coaches pause on players and maybe fans too, in terms of like having that quick judgment to write guys off.
I wonder if we've already seen that because there were a lot of people that were done with Bryce Young already at the beginning of the season, right? He's terrible last year, got off to a terrible start again. He got benched. And since he's come back, he's not been great, but he's been he's not the worst quarterback in football anymore. He's been improved. And considering how little talent they have, you got to put more guys around. His best receiver is Adam Thielen, who's still a reliable target, but he's old. He's not athletic, you got to get him some players.
The other thing that's interesting is that, Carolina, because they had Darnold and he didn't have success, and then now they see him have success in Minnesota, they've already been scoring once. So they're going to give Bryce Young, I think, more time than probably any team.
Absolutely. And they should. There's talent there.
Totally, man.
But you put him in a terrible situation.
Carolina's such a great city too, man. When that team was good, it's a fun town to be around. They really get into their football there. But when Cam was there and the Super Bowl run, all that stuff.
Pravada says you guys are awesome. Thank you, Pravada.
Thank you.
Reliant Oppo says, glad to see you boys back in the saddle again. What's the reason people cap Jarrett Allen? I think he's really good, just not elite, so doesn't rate against the Giannis's of the league. Do people cap Jarrett Allen? I don't know.
What do you mean cap him? What does that mean, cap him?
I thought you knew all the hip terminology. You don't
know? Cap and no cap?
Yeah. Right.
God, I need my daughter right now.
She's on top of that, huh?
She's all over.
By the way, you posted a picture somewhere, and she was so big, I couldn't believe it.
It's
crazy.
She's a woman. She's a woman, dude. 1,000%.
She looks exactly like your ex-wife.
She does. She looks just like Nicole. There. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
Side note from Reliant Oppo, have you guys played Spikeball or Round Net? I don't know what those things are.
Spikeball I've seen. I've not played it. It's like a game for the summertime. People play it outdoors at whatever.
What is it? It's
or on the beach. It's a ball. There's like a little trampoline in the middle.
Yeah.
And you got the players around the outside, and you basically have to hit the ball off the trampoline, and it bounces in the air, and you keep smacking it down around. I don't know, but it looks fun.
A little hacky sackish kind of in that.
Yes, I was just gonna say hacky sackish.
Let's see. I see.
Do I look like I could be playing with the hacky sack right now with this outfit?
Like you could be, like the older guy living on a college campus who went back for a master's degree. You got to get maybe a hemp necklace.
Oh yeah, I could do it like a choker.
Yeah. Play some ultimate frisbee. Play some hacky sack.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have a hot pot around. One of those.
Roll up a big doobie.
That's right. All right. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Hey, thanks to everybody for joining us today. We appreciate it. We're normally on Thursdays at 2. Today we're on at 2:30, but we'll be back again at 2 next week. And then I think it'll be the last show of the year because the Thursday after Christmas, we're going to take a week off there.
And I actually am doing a game the day after Christmas.
Oh, that's right. What's the game again?
I got a bowl game in Detroit.
Right?
It's a new sponsor this year. It's a Game Above Sports Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I think it's a video game company.
Yeah, I never heard of it. Well,
but it's basically I tell people I'm doing the Motor City Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. So who's playing?
Which is what it was forever. It's a great matchup actually. It's Pitt and Toledo.
Do we know the spread yet? I'll find
7. 7.5.
Who's favored? I don't know either team well enough.
Pitt, both teams. But Pitt is at one point they were 7-0 this year.
Yeah, and
Toledo finished 7-5, I believe.
All right, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Some 22-point spread game.
No, I got my 2 bowl games. Both of them are one score spreads.
Oh, nice. What's the other one?
Liberty and Buffalo in the Bahamas Bowl.
Oh, you going to the Bahamas?
That's how you go to the Bahamas?
You did
Hell
not?
Yeah, going to the Bahamas.
Oh,
yes.
My God. First, I'm thinking Liberty, Buffalo. That's going to be somewhere in the north, somewhere not fun to go.
No, bro. We're going to the Bahamas.
When? When is that one? Around New Year's?
It's January 4th.
Oh, man.
So I'm going down January 1st, New Year's Day.
Nice.
Fly down the morning of New Year's Day, and I'm flying back January 7th. I'm going for a week.
That's awesome. You've never been there, have you? Or you have?
I was there for a day because we had a pit stop on a cruise.
Oh. Oh, this
but
is
never
totally
never
different.
to like hang out for multiple days. And
Oh,
by the way, the last
God.
time I was there was like 10 years ago, so I've heard it's just totally blown up in like a positive way.
Are you
So
staying in like a special resort?
yeah, we're at the Grand Hyatt.
Oh yeah.
It's called, what's it called? Baha Mar or something. It's
Oh
the
yeah.
new thing that
Yeah, I stayed at a Grand Hyatt on my honeymoon in Maui, and it was unbelievable.
it's I'm certainly grateful for my employment, but my room is like not. It's like 1,300 a night.
Oh my God. Well, that's
But
fun.
but dude, that's every room. It's not just my room. Like
No,
every
sure.
room in the Bahamas is like a grand a night.
Yeah, I mean, people don't want to go to Detroit in January. No offense to Detroit. They
Well,
don't want to
yeah,
come to Cleveland here
and
either. But
it's around New Year's too, so there's a
yeah,
lot of people. It's a
right.
kind
That's
of
where
a
everybody goes
higher
away. Winter break,
right.
all that stuff. All right. Well, we'll have one more show before then. Dustin, I'll see you next week.
Sounds
Thanks.
good, man.
Thanks to Z and Alex and Max all being part of the show today. And thanks to all of you. Make sure you're using the Bet Rivers app. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here? It's the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, the special Bull and Fox edition, back next Thursday. See you, everybody.